One of the habits that I've gotten in is making the choice to be nice. To be nice. Now, how many of you have trouble being nice? No hands. I love it. So, a couple out there, a couple out there. Okay, so this is the thing. You know that you can be nice. You can turn it on and you can turn it off at any time. You can be. How many of you have ever been in an argument with somebody at home? Argument with somebody at home? It should be every hand in the room. Okay? Yeah, and you're just cussing and you're fighting. I can't believe I'm going to strike you. Oh my God, I just can't believe it. And the phone rings. You go, I just did. Just had some. Hello? You with me? I mean, you can do it. You can turn it on and you can turn it off, right? It's just that easy. Make the choice to be nice. Make the choice to be nice. That's number one. The second thing is choose to stay calm. Choose to stay calm. Because I can promise you this about life. Every person in here is in one of three states of life. Everybody in the world is in one of three states. You're either in the midst of a crisis, right? Or you're just stepping out of a crisis. Or unbeknownst to you, guess what you're about to do? Step into a crisis. Fair enough? That's just the way it is. So choose to stay calm. You know, and life blindsides you and comes at you from all different angles, right? You know, one of the things that I found is that when I'm at my best, you ever notice when you're at your chippers, your best, you've got your attitude's right, everything feels good, somebody walks up to throw a wet blanket on top of you? You ever notice that? I was in a grocery store. How many of you have been in a grocery store before? Have you ever seen a grocery store? I was in a Fry's, and those out east, y'all don't know what a Fry's is, but Fry's is Kroger, okay? Y'all know what Kroger is, the same chain, okay? I was in a Fry's grocery store after basketball practice one day with my daughter a couple of years ago, and I'm just feeling great. We had a good practice. It was a great day. You know, I was feeling good. My wife calls the phone and says, "Boy, would you mind stopping by the grocery store and picking up a gallon of milk and a loaf of bread?" Fine, no problem. Me and my daughter would jump out of the car. We're bebopping across the 115-degree pavement that we're walking on in Arizona, because I live in Arizona now. And we're bebopping across that, getting to the grocery store. And, of course, you got to go to this side of the store to get the bread, and you got to go to that side of the store to get the milk, because that's the way they lay them out, right? So we get our milk, we get our bread, and I'm going back to the front line, and we're just talking, having a great day. And I'm walking up to the line, and I noticed this little old man pushing his shopping cart, his buggy, towards the same aisle I'm headed towards. The 15 or less items express lane. You with me? So as I'm walking, this is not big. I notice this old man is racing me to the line. You ever been there? Okay? And just as I go to step in, he whoops in front of me. I have to jump back and just about runs over my feet. Okay? As he's running. So I got a choice, right? I got a choice. Either whoop that little old man's butt right here in the front. All right, take a deep breath, step back, set a good example for my daughter, control what I can, make a good choice, and just step in line behind him. But when I step in line behind him, I look over the shoulder, and that little old man, if he's got one item in his buggy, he has got 101 items. It is just burgeoning over with stuff. So I take a deep breath, and get my stuff, and I go over to the next aisle, next over. As I'm standing in the aisle, I kind of look over and I'm reading the Positive Thinking magazines, you know, what's Kanye doing, who's him, is Bruce still confused, you know, that kind of thing. You know, I'm reading that, you know, and as I'm reading it, I see this lady and her daughter just kind of bebopping down there. They're not really paying any attention, and they just sort of file right in behind that little old man. Well, the thing I notice is this, is that as she's talking, she happens to glance over just like I did, and she stops. And immediately you can see the red start to rise up her neck. And she's getting madder and madder. So being a good Christian man I am, I picked up my bread, picked up milk, and ran over and jumped behind her. Because I wanted to watch. So I'm standing in the line behind her, okay? And as I'm there, you know, she's fuming. You can just feel the waves coming off her. And as they load up the little old man's stuff and put it in his buggy and push it through the doors, and they go shh behind him, she unloads on that clerk. How dare you? Do you not know how to count? What do you have this line for? Where's your manager? Manager comes over. She jumps all over the manager. How dare you? Who trained this person? What is the deal? Why do you have this lane? She just goes off on him. Well, while she's doing that, they get her stuff. They put her stuff in her bags. She storms out of the store. Shh, door's closed behind her. Now, how do you think this little clerk felt? How do you think they were standing when she left? Can you see it? Kind of beat down, you know. The manager is walking back to that little box they sit in the grocery store, you know, dragging his feet as he's going back. And I step up and look at the lady. I said, listen, I got to tell you something. I think you did an excellent job handling that. I said, some people you just can't make happy. I said, I just want to tell you, I love shopping in this store. And I said, and then I holler at the manager, hey, I just want to let you know, I was just back in your milk department and your bread department. You do a fabulous job. But every time I come in the store, I find what I'm looking for. It's fresh. Your staff's wonderful. Thank you. All I said. Get my stuff, walk out the door. Just before I go out the door, I took a glance over my shoulder. How do you think that clerk's standing now? Yeah. That manager's got some other manager by the arm pointing at me. I guess it's the bread guy or the milk guy going, that guy loves your stuff. You know? So as I walk out, I get thinking, there's 5 people in the story, right? Little old man, the lady, the clerk, the manager, me. Let's throw me out. Let's talk about the little old man. Little old man walks out of the store, gets in his car, puts his groceries in the back seat, cuts his Frank Sinatra on or whatever he listens to, and he drives off down the road. Is he thinking one thought about that woman? One thought. Okay, now that woman, think this. Storming out to her car, throwing her stuff in the car, slamming the door, telling her to buckle up. No, we're not listening to the radio. Gets home, storms in the door, slams her stuff down the kitchen counter. I feel sorry for her husband when he gets home. Because that little old man who ain't thinking another thought about her owns her. Does that make sense? And who made that choice? She did. Exactly right. Now, let's talk about that clerk and that manager. You think it's conceivable that that clerk and that manager had a better day because I came along? You think maybe they were a little bit better customer service people? Maybe a little bit better interacting with each other than they would have been if I hadn't came along? So let me ask you this. What did I teach them about customer service, personal interactions, or having a better day? What did I teach them? Can I tell you what I taught them? Nothing. 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 I taught them nothing. But I gave them something. I heard a guy named Joel Osteen say it was one of the best things you can give another human being, and it's free. And I gave them a smile and a kind word. You with me? A smile and a kind, something we can all give away. And you know who I think got the most out of that gift of a smile and a kind word? Me. Because I walked out knowing that I had made a difference.